Okay, it's Nick Dutch here, just answering a quick question from the studio audience. Namely, how come I am such a skeptic of the Ouija board despite the fact that I use it? Well, there's too many claims, and I think a lot of the claims about the Ouija board are kept in place for subcultural reasons, and that is that there is a subculture of people. They want to have their own like little club language, just a little bit of rubbish that they carry on saying to hold their little group together. But they're also saying that they believe that at some time in the future there will be some kind of great research into this, wonderful fringe science, and there will be much more in the way of understanding and all the rest of that basically coming into play, and people will understand that we're all one consciousness and so on and so forth. So you got two mixed messages there. On one side of things, a group of people just coming out with cultural references just to hold the group of people together. And on the other side, you've got the claim that all of the little daft, clubby, cliquey language and words and phrases and fashion styles and the rest of it that they've got is somehow part of some kind of science, which I don't think it is. What else you got? Then you got the issues of the phenomena itself. Now, the only thing that you can actually say about a Ouija board seance is that the planchette moves. All right. Within reason, you can see that it is being moved directly by the fingers of the operator. Yes, but the question is, why does the planchette still move in a certain pattern, apparently spelling out some apparent messages, for which the most important interpretation so far has been the ideomotor effects. But then the next question is, what is the ideo, what is the idea that then creates the effect of moving the fingers of the operator in a certain pattern? Is that something inside the individual or outside the individual? Although there's plenty of evidence to suggest that there is something within the individual which could be doing it, there's also plenty of strange experiences which imply that there's something outside of the individual which could be doing it. But there's too many questions for us to be able to say totally, either one way or another. Do the actual spirits exist? We will never know. But what we can say is the experience of using the Ouija board is in fact very curious, just as with the dark mirror. We don't actually know. All of these practices such as demonology or ceremonial magic, these are cultural practices, which some people would say are part and parcel of trying to liberate this, the phenomena so it can then occur all by itself. But a lot of people wrap themselves up in the dogma of what they're doing, and they don't think about trying to understand this from a practical, rational, or indeed scientific mindset, despite the fact they are making the claim that they are doing a science, when obviously they're not. They're performing the actions of a culture. So, this is why I have some skepticism. I think it is worthwhile having some skepticism, but I'm also skeptical of the completely non-supernaturalist interpretation as well. I think that there's more questions that can be asked, and the more strange experiences you have, the more you begin to think that maybe there is something going on here, but we can never say totally as to precisely what that can be. And that's essentially like a bit of a paradox, I know, because here's me still doing all this weird heebie-jeebie stuff, okay? But I'm not prepared to say either way. And I don't think it's worthwhile saying either way, because we don't have enough information. Alright, we just don't have the information, it's not there. All we got is strange experiences and people developing their own just so stories. There's the skeptical just so story of no, it's only due to parts of the mind, or it's only delusion, or it's only chicanery. If it's only all of these things, which one is it? Do they know? No, of course not. Then there's the other just so story, which comes out of reproduction, or attempting to reproduce the same kind of phenomena. Well, anyone who's a skilled enough conjurer could reproduce something which has actually happened in a laboratory, okay? So that makes all regular physical scientific experiments null and void as well. So essentially, there's a massive fallacy through trying to reproduce the conditions. You can't do that and say that the reproduced conditions are in fact what has happened during the original scenario, because you don't know. And yes, unfortunately, you've only got anecdotes to rely upon, but you got to accept that. And yeah, there can be something wrong with the anecdotes. There can be something wrong with the skeptical mindset. There can be something wrong with all kinds of people, because people take irrational belief standpoints. Alright, all people do. And that's why I'm trying my hardest not to develop a belief standpoint. And I'm just saying, well, this is the phenomena, this is what seems to happen, let's just experiment with it, play around with it, and see whether I can do myself some good, or, you know, just have some fun with this stuff. If we can't prove conclusively that there is a spirit at work, that does not mean to say we should not carry on exploring the phenomena. What that means to say is that there are some things we can't prove conclusively, but the phenomena in question still seems to carry on occurring. This is why it is important to be a transdeist.